Alrighty everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Laurie from Quick Scrap Craft, and I've got another process video for you this week. This is the third process video going live this week, and it's another Halloween one. I'm sorry, but that's what I'm scrapbooking right now, so I hope that you're into it and that you like Halloween as much as I do. I am using the crepe paper collection that I got as part of my haul for this month. I purchased it from Peacecraft Love, and I am really loving the variety of pattern papers in this collection, which is coming in handy because I'm going to be using a lot of different patterns on the layout today. The layout is actually inspired by a challenge that was in the Paper Issues Friends and Fans Facebook group last month, and I think it was a sketch challenge, and it used hexagons. And I'm like, that's cool because I have a hexagon punch. It's not very big. I'm not sure the exact dimensions of it. Maybe it's a 1 inch punch. I don't know if they make bigger hexagon punches. I'm sure I've talked about it before on the channel. And have I looked into it? No. Has anyone recommended larger punches? Probably. And have I looked into it? No. So I still don't have a larger punch, and that's going to be a problem because the original sketch has the photos as hexagons, and you can see my photos are not hexagon right now. They are two vertical 4x6 photos, and they're kind of big photos. The object in the photos is my daughter. In the first one, she's wearing her Halloween costume from when she was a baby. And in the second one, she is wearing her Halloween costume for this year. We had to try it on once we got it in the mail, once we ordered it, just to make sure it was going to fit and that she liked it. And so, of course, I always take a try-on picture, and I decided to put the two of them together since they were sort of related, and they were both taken in the month of September. So the object in the photos is my kid, and it's kind of big. Like, how do I cut those down without losing the costume, you know? So it was kind of a dilemma going on there. I kind of took, to do the hexagons, these smaller hexagons, I kind of just took the leftover paper that I'd already cut into, and I punched that up a whole bunch. And yes, I did punch on one of the cut aparts. So I used the opposite side, obviously, but that meant that I couldn't use the cut aparts because I was cutting them apart. Luckily, this collection had 3 sheets of cut aparts, so not that big of a deal. And one of the pieces that I really wanted to use, I saved. So don't worry. I did make sure to not punch through the piece that I wanted to punch through. So I'm basically just trying to stack these hexagons up in a way that is not super even, like they kind of stick out a little bit more on the top, and then it starts going in toward the bottom. And that little half piece I'm actually going to have peeking out from behind my photos. So you don't even, like, there are pieces on the side that I had going off the page. So I cut those off and then was able to reuse the half pieces, you know. And, and here I am trying to, like, freehand a hexagon. I'm even trying to measure. I'm trying to measure, and it doesn't work. And this is the part of scrapbooking where if you're going to be like doing precise stuff like this, it just doesn't work. I don't enjoy trying to figure out these like math problems while I'm scrapbooking because I don't want to take the time to do it, to be quite honest with you. So in a nutshell, I have this Leah France dry erase marker. I don't know if you know what Leah France is, but she makes stencils that allow you to cut your photos into different shapes. And you use this dry erase marker to trace the stencil. I'll have to break my stencil out again and do a layout with it just to show you guys, because it's been a while since I've used them. But the marker is dry erase, and it wipes off the photos with, you know, an old t-shirt rag if you're using that, a paper towel or a tissue. Easily wipes off, I promise. So if you're watching this and you're like, what is she doing marking on the photo? Don't worry. The marking is going to come off. And did I freehand that hexagon? You bet I did. Was I super nervous about doing it? Yes. But because I was using this dry erase marker that was going to easily wipe off my photo, I knew that if I made a mistake, I could just wipe it off. I didn't have to cut anything first. So yeah, there's my homemade hexagon, and then I'm going to use that as basically a stencil for the second photo so that I can make sure that both of them are the same size. Yes. Do I enjoy this sort of stressful process? Not at all. Would I do it again? Probably not. But it was something to try for this layout. It was something to challenge my brain a little bit, even though I didn't like it. And my brain was like, there are too many random movie quotes and song lyrics up in here to be whipping out a ruler and trying to measure. How dare you? Yeah. But I think I made it work, and then I'm going to mat these both onto onto paper and basically like freehand cutting the border, because I don't want to draw another hexagon. I don't want to try to like trace these again, because if I'm going to mat them, I need something to be larger than that size, so I can't just trace them. So yeah, I'm just gonna stick them down on some paper and cut along the border, kind of doing like a cloud cutting, so that you see some of the matting show up behind it. And here I'm just getting those last hexagons down because I want to make sure that I have enough to kind of fill up the space that is on the right hand side of the photos. And if there was a hexagon that was going to get covered up, so I'm like, don't put it there. It's just going to be covered up. Use it someplace else, right? So always kind of check that out. Make sure that you're able to reposition things. That's why I love using the double-sided adhesive squares. They're repositionable. Well, you have to buy the ones that say repositionable. But if you stick something down, it's not really that big of a deal. You could easily peel it up and move it back to the next, wherever it needs to go to make sense with your design. And I don't think they're always repositionable. I think they're initially repositionable. So obviously if you stick something down with these and 5 years goes by, or they're sitting in your scrapbook album, they're not going to come off. So it's more like in the process of putting things together, they're repositionable. So just in case you're wondering about that. So I had this green paper from, I think it's Doodlebug, and I think I used it on another layout. And so I had some extras lying around, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to use that to map my photos, because I don't know that there is really much green in the pattern papers that I was using, but I had used it the same color on another Halloween layout. And so to me, it was just very Halloweeny, like the blacks, oranges, black, orange, and green together, right? I guess green because of like witches. So you can see I just stuck the photo down and then did a very careful trim around so that you could still see that green matting without me having to try to draw a larger hexagon that meets the same dimensions and requirements. So yeah, I'm not sure how often you guys use hexagons on your layouts. It's always kind of a fun thing to do. I feel like I always do some sort of background thing with the pattern papers. I did a soccer layout that had kind of a similar thing with where you create a hexagon pattern going up behind your photos. And I probably always default to that because I have the punch, and the punch makes these small hexagons. So it's just easy to have them be like accent pieces behind the photo or create a really cool background with them. But I'm sure there are other ways that you could use hexagons, especially like using them in place of circles. If you've got a layout where you used a lot of circles, try doing the same thing with hexagons, especially if you have a big hexagon, maybe like die cut. I should look into that to see if there's some sort of nested hexagon-shaped die cut. I feel like Hip Kit Club has some die cut pieces, and they might have a hexagon, but I haven't ordered it, so I should check and see if it's still there, right? Yeah. Because I do like using hexagons. I think it's just an interesting shape, and it's something totally different, and I would probably use it more. Same thing with like triangles. I would probably use triangles more if I had something that just made it really easy to cut the paper and cut the photos. And yeah, I need to look into some nested die cut sets, because my Spellbinders Grand Caliber could totally do the job, and it would be super easy. I'm adding in a few of the sticker embellishments from this crepe paper collection. I'm not going to do too many embellishments, not going to go like super heavy. I'm kind of looking for smaller pieces because I don't want anything to overshadow this hexagon honeycomb. I was thinking of them and again combine the words. I don't want anything to cover the background, right? I don't want like a big giant thing to take over. the pieces. So I'm just looking for small little things, and the background paper itself is already pre-printed. It's kind of got like a spooky night scene with a full moon on it. So that's also something that I don't really want to cover up too much of, because you can see it peeking out from behind the photos. Down below, I also have some paper strips, and those are also, I put them there because that's where they were in the original layout. You could do a sticker strip, you could do, whatever you want. You could do some mixed media down there and create a line of something. That's also where the title is going to go. So I broke out some very old alpha stickers. I'm not sure how long they've been in my stash, but they had some orange and green in them, and not all the exact same colors, but I think it was enough to fit the design. So this layout is going to be called Scary Cute, and I'm doing the word scary in these old colorful alpha stickers. And then I think I do the word cute. Yeah, I do the word cute in these Doodlebug. It's the Sunshine alphas, and I don't remember what, or is it, are the alphas called Sunshine, or is the color called Sunshine? Now I don't remember. Doesn't matter, because what you're watching me do is MacGyver some of the stickers, because I don't have the right letters to make this. So I think I'm taking a Q and I'm turning it into a C. Totally possible to do it. Get out your sharp small scissors in order to do it, and you can make any letter you want. Basically, I've done the same. I've turned Q's into O's if you need that. You can also take like the number 3 and make it backwards and pretend it's a cursive E. I've done that a lot too. I've cut I've cut N's into R's. You can also do an N turn it upside down, and that could be a U if you have extras of those. So lots of different ways that you can use things in your stash, even if they're not 100% fit. A little bit of journaling there with my white Jelly Roll pen. I think I might be needing to get another one of those. I can see the ink is drying out. I got those from Michael's. Those are like the best. Highly recommend the white Jelly Roll pens. What else am I doing here? I broke out some Nuvo drops, or I think those are Scrapbook.com Pops of Color. I can't remember if that might be the champagne color. It's sort of goldy. So I'm just adding a couple little dots of those as I go around the page, just for some added interest, since I don't have a lot of embellishments. And I really like the way that these look because they dry with such great dimension. Always test it first. Give it a squeeze on a scrap piece of paper before you try to put it on your layout, because you never know how it might come out. It might come out a little too fast the first time, and then you've got a big glob on your page. So just a little tip there if you're using Nuvo Drops or the Scrapbook.com Pops of Color, which are essentially the same thing. Here are the close-ups. I hope this video was inspiring for you and that you give it a thumbs up, like, and consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out on other process videos. Spoiler alert, there's one more coming to you this week, so don't miss out. I'll see you then. Bye.